go. The music's louder in my voice. It's definitely prettier. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for tuning in. This is going to be a good stream today. Before I get started, as always, I have to do this. This is not financial advice. This information on this channel is provided for education, informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind. Feel free to pause this so that way you know I'm not a financial advisor. This is all educational purposes only. Fantastic. We're going to get started right now. I'm going to start out today with talking about gold. This is a trade that I took long in the New York session today. We're looking at a 1 hour chart, and I just want to start out on this 1 hour chart to give you all a bit of an overview. I'm going to look from about right here from Friday on. This was based off of a weekly template style of trade where Friday started the move back down, coming off of the high of last week. And then we have the low of last week as well. Down here, actually, it would be about right here was the low of the overall week. On Monday today, or yesterday, excuse me, they traded down through Friday's low and then went back into consolidation, giving you a bit of a peak coming off the low of the current week. Coming into today, I was watching the breakout level from Friday, and this is what made me want to take the trade. Looking at the chart over here, you're going to notice that opening range for the day, this was Asia. Gap time, they put in a higher high. Notice the lower low over here. And then this was the high. They made a higher high back up on the inside of the weekly range on the 1 hour chart and dumped it back down into consolidation. So opening range for the day, initial balance for the day, stop hunt to the low, and then they started to ascend coming off of the low of the day. And even here on the 1 hour chart, you can see that nice parabolic trend channel. Down on the 15-minute, it's even more apparent, if I can get this out of the way. You can see the nice little trend channel going up in the New York session and those stop hunting candles that are immediately taken away, continuing to rise and rise and rise into 10 o'clock. Let's go down to the 1 minute chart and we will take a look in that channel to figure out how I timed this so that I did not get stopped out prior to it going vertical. Noticing at the first hour, let's actually section off this session over here hour by hour. So first hour of the New York session, second hour of the New York session, and coming into the third hour of the New York session. So this is the third hour, second, and the first. There was a high put in place in the first hour of the New York session, as well as a low. Bit of a peak high, bit of a peak low. And then down here, you actually had a ascending triangle, peak formation high, peak formation low, even within this consolidation ascending triangle. This was actually my first attempt in the first hour to go long on this. I took the trade down here at the break of this ascending triangle, and as it went up and pulled back and started to go and do this little, I don't even know what to call it, sort of a channel on the 1 minute chart, coming into the second hour, I just closed that trade because it just didn't seem like it was timed correctly. Coming into the second hour, though, there is a stop hunt back down to the low and a W following making a higher high. So this break of structure, me being patient, I waited for another higher high to be put in place before trying to re-enter this trade. They made a higher high and then a 3 push or 3 drive stop hunt back down into the low, push 1, push 2, and push 3. Bit of a triple bottom down over here coming into the third hour. So if I were to mark off the third hour opening price, it was right there. Even within this, so the new hour opened up, push 1, push 2, and a push 3. That's a little bit of a pin hammer there. That's the W, down, up, down, and then the engulfment. On that candle right there, I knew that I wanted to go long. So I put a buy stop at the break of this candle and also an add-in at the break of this wick. And I had put my stop or my take profit in place, about a 25 pip take profit. And seeing how aggressively this was moving, I wanted to move it. But I had no time. They hit my buy stops, and then the next candle opened up and ripped through my take profit and took me out of the trade. So I didn't even have enough time to move my take profits up further because I was willing to take a 50 pip take profit, and it took me out. But it was over in 2 minutes. I was done. 25 pips on 2 positions, so really 50 pips plus between the 2 positions in 2 minutes, and I was done for the day, and that was a great trade. So thinking about this, higher high on the inside, break in structure or break of structure, making that higher high, 3 pushes back down. New hour opens up, third hour gives you a W to go vertical back up through this consolidation here, and I was looking for range expansions of this consolidation, which is why I had my take profit where I did, and there was also a number level up here that I had my take profit at, and it immediately took it out aggressively. All right, so that was the trade from today. Hopefully you all appreciate the breakdown. I think that overall, why was I taking this? We have volume trapped at the low of the week, below Friday's low. The consolidation, peak formation on Monday, consolidation in the middle, and then it started to break back up to the upside of that breakout level. Higher high on the inside, parabolic trend channel, and the vertical move back up towards the opening of the week. So this is like the opening price for the week. This is the close of last week, opening for this week. And you can see that they have came back up. Didn't quite make it there, but no big deal. They'll probably hit it tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. Let's get into the actual watch list for this week. I'm going to start off on the NASDAQ. I'm going to start off on the 1 hour chart, and I'm going to go through the entirety of the analysis on the 1 hour. Time frame is irrelevant in my mind. I could do this on the 15. Honestly, I could do it on the 5. But seeing structure and all those different things is much easier for you on the 1 hour charts. So if you're struggling to see higher highs, higher lows, things like that, maybe just go to the 1 hour. It really helps. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ today also gave a fantastic selling opportunity based off the fact Friday, pump day, Monday, inside bar day. They triggered the high of the inside bar in Asia. In London. Asia, London. London is the initial balance for the day. Asia is the opening range for the day. They attempted to go outside of an inside bar. The breakout failed outside of Asia. Pulled back into the opening range for the day, and then went vertical back down through the opening range low for the current day, not of the entire week. I am talking about the current day. Inside bar, where are they going? We've got inside bar trader stops down at the low of that inside bar, and that's exactly where they went. They went right back for those stops. Didn't quite hit the low, but they obviously did their work. They were happy with what they got. So let's take a look. Signal days, Monday, Tuesday, weekly template style of setups. So what are the 3 things that I absolutely have to find? I need to look at structure. I need to look at signal days, first red day, first green day, inside day, all these things that I've got over here. And then I'm going to look at the opening range template, Monday, Tuesday, to identify the certain template that could be setting up for coming into tomorrow. So we have a failed breakout at the high of the current week coming back down into this week's range, and they have not taken out the low of the inside bar altogether. So what I'm going to do is I am going to mark this off as an opening range. Nope, just kidding. As a failed breakout on a Tuesday, are they going to come back down to retest the low? Why do I think this is an opening range style of setup? The reason is because they have not taken out the low yet. and they have pulled back up off of the low. So this could turn into a pump for a dump back for the stops. If I were to come back to the screen tomorrow and see this end of day consolidation, Asia opens up. Hollow box. Asia opens up, maybe makes a lower low, back down on the inside. London breaks out of Asia, and then New York pumps up and then goes vertical back down for the stops. Come New York, if there's enough space to get back down there for a trade, I would be happy to take that as a weekly template style of trade, going from the high of the week back down to the low of week. Let's see here. What else do we have? So on top of that, we have breakouts from Thursday. 1 day of breakouts, 2 days of breakouts, and also 3 days of breakouts as of today. So I'm going to put that up there as well. Fantastic. Now I need to look at structure. 3 days, previous day's high. The very next thing that I want to look at is the structure of what is happening. There's been a higher high that was put in place today. Oh, actually, no, it was not. It's actually just the high, and then this is actually the low down here. And the reason is high, higher high, confirming a low, and then they have not gone higher. So my low is still all the way down here, and my high is still all the way up here. Inside bar trader stops after a failed breakout at the high of the current week. That is the setup that I will be personally looking for if it does present tomorrow based off of weekly template setups. Intraday, I'm doing well. Thank you. I hope you're doing well as well. Man, I just said well a bunch of times. Fantastic. Let's see here. Great trade, sticking true setup, exercise patience. Fantastic, Vince. Guido, hello. Okay, let's go on to, I'm going to put this up into opening range because we do have 3 days breakouts and everything, but I am going to look at this template to see if we do get that retracement back down through the low. Understanding that the concept of consolidation, if there's a failed breakout at the high, the first place that they're going to go is back down to the 50% of that consolidation or the other side of the range. That is why I think this is a good weekly template setup. And one of the setups that I actually teach in my weekly webinar is this exact template, which is funny because we just went over this today, and I see some of you in here, so you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go to US 30. We'll take a look. We had a failed breakout at the high of the current week, day 1, 3-day cycle on Friday. They attempted to go higher on Friday. It failed on Monday, day 1 on Friday, day 2 on Monday. Today was day 3 of the 3-day cycle on US 30, and it was an inside day. Who can tell me, what do I do with inside day 3 of the 3-day cycle? What do I need to do? Give it a few seconds here. All right, so day 3, 3-day cycle, it's an inside day. I'm going to take this and I'm going to shift it over to the next day. So tomorrow, once again, will be day 3 of the 3-day cycle. I need to look at structure and I need to look at signal days. There was a first red day over here on Monday that has not eventuated. We had a lower low back down on the inside of the previous week's range. Break in. Times 2. Break in structure back down to the downside. Why is that a break in structure? We had a high... Actually, hold on. I take it back. The break in structure was over here from Wednesday. All right, so we had a lower low, and then they spiked back to the high and made a higher high. So peak formation low, peak formation high. First red day on Monday. We've pumped it back up. Inside bar. Let's take a look at the opening range for this week. It's already up there. Awesome. Now I need to mark off previous session high and low. I can do my end of day consolidation, something like this, coming into tomorrow. And I'm going to throw up this annotation up here, first red day. I'm putting this first red day up here on Monday because of the fact that it did not eventuate. It has not played out yet. So this first red day, it might not actually go down. This could go vertical back through the high, but I want to be aware that this first red day has not played out, and then we have a bit of a pause day, inside day. Peak formation low at the low of the current week. Failed breakout now down low. Yeah, so this is actually not true. Looking at this further, probably should stop speaking so fast and actually look, right? The failed breakout at the low of the current week on a Monday, day 1. Today was day 2. So regardless, tomorrow is still day 3 of the 3-day cycle, but it's just not for the same reason, so I want to point that out. If you didn't catch what I just said, I originally thought that day 1, day 2, and then day 3 inside bar, but I failed to see this failed breakout on Monday. So this was actually day 1 on Monday. Day 2 was the inside bar, inside day. And then tomorrow again is going to be day 3. All right. So peak formation, consolidation, a bit of ascending channel. Make sure I'm not missing anything. It's kind of a peak high, peak low sort of scenario, but it was also peak low, peak high. So I'm just going to leave the annotations just like this. In fact, I need to move that breakout level over. So this trap volume supposedly at the high of the current week. If we, similar today, if we pull up on the inside of this and start pulling back, that could be a vertical move up. And this first red day sort of idea is completely wrong. And I'd be totally fine with that as well. But this breakout level is important to me. Let's see here. Opening range wise. Yep, this is all I can do. I'm going to put this into the pump and dump section. Nope, I'm going to put it back in the first red day. Just to keep me sort of aware and remind myself tomorrow. Sit on hands, I agree. Let's see here. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything because I did miss that one detail, and it bothers me. So breaking structure, lower low, spike to high. We've got shorts in, down low. They've spiked to high and stopped them out. Yep, I'm good with this. I'm going to move on to gold. Let's take a look at gold. Let's see. So, make sure I get the 3-day cycle right. Breakout from Friday's low. The breakout has now failed on Tuesday. Monday, day 1, 3-day cycle. Tuesday, day 2 of the 3-day cycle. Tomorrow is day 3 of the 3-day cycle, and also it's Wednesday. This was an inside bar on the daily chart, or an inside day. So a dump day, inside day, and then tomorrow, Wednesday, day 3, 3-day cycle. So thinking about opening range style of trades, if this goes and turns into a failed breakout tomorrow, 50%, other side of the range. If this turns into a confirmed breakout tomorrow, breakout, pullback, continuation, I'm going to be looking at expansions of the opening range as potential profit targets for where this could go, something like this. Back to maybe, I don't know, the high of the previous week, which is funny enough exactly where this one full expansion is landing. So as far as different scenarios of what could happen tomorrow, breakout, pullback, expansion of the range. Breakout, fail, back to 50% or the other side of the opening range. 2 different scenarios. I'll be looking for either one. All right. This was the first red day on Friday. Didn't quite eventuate on Monday. There was no true expansion of the range, and we pulled back up now. That kind of looks like a inverse head and shoulders, but we'll see. Let's see. Do I miss anything? Let's see, we got a higher high over here, and then the lower low on Monday. So I'm going to make sure I mark that off. There is a lower low back down to the other side of the range. And looks good. Where's the major low on US 30? Since this is a 1-hour chart, this lower low and then the higher high, the low is all the way down here still from Thursday. Thursday's low is the major low right now. Okay, and then it's a very wide box. So we're going to have to look for internal structure, looking at the weekly range to identify setups, or if it goes vertical through the high, our levels are very well identified. Okay, gold, inside day. So I'm going to put this in the inside day category. And I'm going to go on to oil. Hey, so US 30, I put that in first red day because of the first red day from 2 days ago that has not eventuated yet. Trading gems. This was actually an inside day today. In fact, you know what? You're right. I'm going to put this in the inside day category. Martin, hello. All right. Let's go on to oil. First thing I want to identify right now is structure, because I can already see that's going to play a role. Lower low, higher high on the inside on Monday. There's the higher high, break-in structure, BIS. Opening range for the week. We have closed on Tuesday on the outside of the opening range. For all of you who just did the webinar today, you already know. All right, so number one is Tuesday going to turn into a failed breakout tomorrow. I come to the session, they pulled back into the opening range, pulled back. Opening range for the day. Asia makes a lower low. London pulls back. New York session, vertical move, 50% or the other side of the range. That's one scenario. The most ideal scenario with a Tuesday closing on the outside of the opening range on a Tuesday is that on Wednesday, Asia opens up. They make a higher high and pull back in London, go into consolidation. New York is the trade to go vertical back towards the high of the previous week or maybe the high of Friday. Okay, so maybe looking for a opening range breakout or expansion back up to the upside if that does present in that way. Inside, but a first green day, correct, on Monday. Are you talking about Monday, trading gyms? That was not an inside day. Oh, you're talking about for US 30? I'm not going to call that a first green day because of where we're at. We're up high. It could be, but I'm just not going to categorize it as that. Okay, so this is a good opening range candidate. I like that. This was a first green day on Monday, multiple days of dump, large dumping day, a day that has attempted to trade down lower first and then closed above the opening price at the end of the day. Break-in structure to the upside, first green day. I was looking for a buy low opportunity today. I did not find one, so that's why I traded gold, but I think that this could be something for tomorrow, and I'm going to make sure that I be watching it. All right, so I'm going to put this into the first green or in the opening range category. I've got my close identified, letting me know, hey, this is closed as an opening range breakout. We're out of balance. We've closed out of balance. And I know exactly what to look for just based off these annotations alone. Higher high on the inside. And I will be looking for Asia to make a higher high, London to pull back, New York to go vertical. If Asia makes a lower low, that idea goes down the drain, okay? Let's see. US dollar CAD. All price is below Sunday opening price. One side holds. Maybe. US dollar CAD. We had 1 day of breakouts, 2 days of breakouts, and then today is an inside day. Yeah, this is an inside day. Got to get out my magnifying glass to figure out whether or not they hit the previous day's high. Inside bar, so a large pumping day. A day that is traded back up into the high and then closed down below the open at the high or coming off of the high of the current week. I'd be a little bit weary about calling this a first red day, but I think I'm going to anyways because it does kind of fit the bill of a inside day, first red day. Now, on the other side of that, what could happen tomorrow? If this goes into consolidation and starts breaking out, opening range Asia, London extends it, pulls back, New York goes vertical. I'm not going to be looking for a first red day setup that keeps on breaking out and going higher and higher and higher. All right, here's my end of day consolidation. Remember, don't get sweaty trying to figure it out. Just grab the last swing high, last swing low, and that will work just fine. And then coming into Asia tomorrow, Asia, London, coming into New York, I'll have the day's range set up to see. Or maybe this could be dump on a Tuesday, consolidate, and then pump, right? So pump, inside day, maybe it's a pause day, dump, consolidate for the pump. Got to watch out for both. I think is that the previous month's high? January, good. Okay, so we have hit the previous month's high on this pair as well. Okay, great. This is all the annotations I need, but I am noticing that this is a bit of a breakdown. We're making lower lows, so I'm just going to annotate that. It hit last week's high as well, yes. This was, what is this, Monday right here? So Monday, Friday. So yeah, on Monday, they already broke out and closed outside of Friday's range. So maybe a breakout of last week, pull back, consolidate, run. I'm actually going to put a first red day question mark. And let's put this up into, again, I think I'm going to put this in first red day, but I'm going to put this in inside day. I am not married to that first red day idea. This looks more like a weekly template style of trade where they've pumped it inside, consolidate, dump, consolidate, maybe for pump. So I'm not married to the short. Let's go on to the Swiss. The Swiss, and also there was another one that I wanted to be watching. I've noticed this pair this morning, it's looking pretty good. Day of breakouts, day of breakouts, day of breakouts. Failed breakout now at the high of the current week. So we got 3 days of breakouts. Uh-oh. So we have 3 days of breakouts and a day one of the 3-day cycle. They've attempted to trade higher and the breakout has failed. Is this a first red day? Let's see. Did they close below the open? Yes, they did. So this is going to be a first red day as well. Now let's talk about this. 3 days of breakouts, first red day. Also a day one 3-day cycle. So I'm going to mark off my end of day consolidation. Just like this. Let's talk about it. This was the breakout level. If I come back to the screen tomorrow and they've pulled back up on the inside of this and are jamming back down, this could be a day one first red day trap that goes vertical back through the previous day's high. And we continue to expand the opening range. Option 1. Option 2, and the one that I would prefer, peak formation at the high of the week. It consolidates and puts in a lower high to go vertical back down through 50% of the opening range or the other side of the opening range. Failed breakout of a consolidation that goes back to 50% or the other side of the week's range. We also have a bit of order flow build up over here that they might want to come back for. Okay, so higher high. Then they did a 2-candle pullback and went higher. And this is actually a lower low. So this is a break-in structure now to the downside. I'll do that one more time. There was a high in place in London. They went higher. They pulled back in 2 candles. This candle went higher than this candle. So this low was confirmed. And then they went lower, breaking structure to the downside on the 1-hour chart. So this lower low, this is my high. They haven't pulled back in 2 candles yet, so I don't know where my low is. This is all the annotations I need. First red day, 3 days of breakouts. Failed breakout, day one, 3-day cycle on a Tuesday. Looking for something like that. Or they pull back up above the breakout level, jam down, make a higher high to go vertical back through the high of the week. Yep. Hey, as I'm going through here, ladies and gentlemen, if you all have questions, anything like that, that's the whole reason I do these streams. So feel free to provide feedback, comments, or if you have something to say about what we're looking at, fantastic. If you have a question, I am more than happy to stop what I'm doing and answer your questions. So don't feel like you're interrupting or whatever. I look at the chat consistently or constantly. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing these. I wouldn't do these just for whatever. I don't know. Would knowing the weekly bias help plot the direction? Hey, Martin, so weekly bias is not really what we're doing. All right. Think of it more of like a math equation. On a Monday and a Tuesday, all I have to go off of is Friday's range and the previous week's high and the previous week's low. That's what I look at on a Monday. Those are the 2 levels that I'm looking at. On a Tuesday, I'm looking at Monday, the opening range, and watching to see if I have a trade set up on Tuesday. Either a trend trade from the inside back to the outside, or from the outside back to the inside. That's it. All right? I'll just say, and then you have Monday plus Tuesday equals Wednesday. So like A plus B equals C. So A and B is going to be your weekly template setup. Do I have a template setup coming into Wednesday? Kind of thinking like a math equation. If A plus B doesn't equal C, if I don't have a template setup, then I'm probably not going to take something on Wednesday. Unless I have a signal day. So A plus B, maybe a pump day, then a first red day, and then a trade day. A plus B equals C. That's more of what I'm looking to do. I'm not looking for like a weekly bias necessarily. It's just based off of kind of like a math equation, like I said. Except remove the math because that would make it overcomplicated. And I am certainly no mathematician. Goodness gracious. All right, we had a large pumping day on Friday. Then we had Monday. Attempted to go higher. Today, the breakout has failed. Not an inside day, but a confirmed breakout now to the bottom of the week. outside of the opening range, closing lower than Monday's low. So very similar. Tomorrow, I come to the screen. They've made a higher high in Asia, pulled back in London, maybe pulled back up on the inside of the weekly template range to go vertical back through the high. That could happen. However, this is an opening range breakout to the downside. If Asia makes a lower low, maybe London pulls back, New York goes vertical. That could be the setup. So Friday, big vertical move, not a first red day. Then we have Tuesday. Today might be a first red day. And also day 2 of the 3-day cycle. Tomorrow is going to be day 3 of the 3-day cycle. Are we going to continue to expand the box down? Or is this a dump for a Wednesday pump? How about if your Wednesday trade comes on Thursday? Well, then it comes on Thursday. That would be like, I would be looking at Wednesday the same as I would on Monday. So I use Monday's opening range for the entire week, but Wednesday's range, this is something that I just recently learned from Stacey Burke. I already knew about midweek reversals. I already knew about, that's like a beat the market maker sort of thing. Midweek reversals, Wednesday, Thursday. But Stacey started talking about the midpoint range or whatever. And I really like that to help me gauge, kind of similar to how I use Monday for Tuesday. I use Wednesday now for Thursday to help me appropriately take trades on a Thursday. It's been very useful. Joseph, hello. Hello. So I use Wednesday's range, high and low, for Thursday to help me identify setups. And that has been vastly useful. Really enjoying that way of thinking. Okay, so over here we had a higher high, a 2-candle pullback, a higher high, a 2-candle pullback, a higher high, and then now we actually do have a break in structure to the downside, lower low. So that's an important detail that I need to look for. Like I said, I've already marked off my close of the day outside of that opening range. I'm going to throw up my end-of-day consolidation to give me reference coming into tomorrow, what kind of day it is turning out to be or what it is kind of beginning to do. Maybe stop hunt to the high, drop. Could be a thing. Stop hunt to the low, break out of this consolidation, start going back towards the high. Could also be a thing. Let's put this into opening range or first red day, whichever one. I honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter. Do you look your trade in 1 hour? My average trade time is actually about 5 minutes. I look for trades that go vertical as fast as possible. And if I'm in a trade for more than 5 to 15 minutes, I'm usually looking to close. But sometimes if the trade is actually moving strongly in a direction, kind of far and few between, they are making leaps and bounds, I'll hold it for, 15, 20, 30 minutes. But other than that, no, I usually will just close. What can we learn from EODC? End of day consolidation coming into Asia. Asia is going to be the opening range for the day. I care a lot more about Asia's range than I do the end of day consolidation. Usually when I come to my session in New York, I just delete it. But it does help you if you're like in Asia or if you're in London, the end of day consolidation can actually be very useful. All right, let's look at pound dollar. I'm trying to go slow and not rush through this so that, I'm trying to leave these annotations up on the screen for you all. So if you're trying to take notes or whatever, I'm not just blowing through. Okay, we had a breakout of Friday's low on Monday. They went into consolidation at the low of the week. Very similar to gold, actually. You can see the opening range for the day. London made a higher high, pulled back, and then started to ascend just like gold did, except there was no breakout level for reference for trap volume. The only thing that you had reference for is the 3 push pattern. Big push down, pause candle. Big push down, pause. Biggest candle on the entire chart is the candle that reversed, push 3. You've got trap volume under push 2. You've got trap volume under push 2 that released and started to ascend in that channel right here. My belief is that after 2 pushes, they are going to trap in level 3. That was level 3. That was the trap volume, and you can see exactly what's happened from there. That worked out pretty nice. I saw somebody in the comments saying that they traded the pound dollar today, so fantastic. I don't know if you saw it this exact same way, but that's my view on it. Nice trade. Now, as far as actual setups go, this is an inside bar on the daily chart. All right, so inside day, We've had a very large dumping day on Monday and on Friday. Now we have an inside day. So is this inside day going to turn into a pause day for a trend continuation on Wednesday? Or is this this inside bar going to turn into a range expansion of that inside bar back towards the high of the current week and maybe even further? All right, but I'm not going to make assumptions about all of that. Lower lows, lower highs. This is actually my official, I put in quotations, official swing high, and then my swing low is the low of the current week overall. So I'm going to put this like this. I'm going to label this the high. Got to make it official. This is the low down here. So that's my structural levels. Did this one, I think this broke the low of the previous month. January. Yeah, this is definitely. So this is, I think this was the low of the previous month, and we hit it on Monday. Make sure I annotate that. Oh, I was like, where'd my annotation go? Right, there we go. Low of the previous month. I'm going to put this into inside day, inside bar. And I'm going to move on. Let's look at Euro JPY. Okay, Monday, opening range, not an inside day. They wicked up to the top, no big deal. Today, they have closed lower than Monday. Same exact scenario. The candles look different, but the scenario remains the same. Am I going to find tomorrow that they pull off the low, come back up into the breakout area for a vertical move back towards the high, dump, consolidate for a pump? It's a good possibility. It's there. It exists. The possibility exists. I understand both scenarios, and I figure out which pattern has formed at the beginning of the day, and I make a decision on what I believe will happen based off of the opening range breakout setup. EODC. I want to reiterate, this is not me trading direction by any means. This is me having identified weekly template setups through that weekly templates video, that tips and tricks slide that I put in all those weekly template videos. This is what I'm referencing. Or I come to the screen tomorrow. Asia's made a lower low. London's pulled back, and New York is the trade. That's it. Those are the only two scenarios that I would be looking for. Let's see. So breakout on Friday. Okay, I don't have a signal day. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Thursday was day 1, 3-day cycle. Day 2, Friday. Day 3, Monday, restarts the cycle. Day 1, day 2, tomorrow's day 3 of the 3-day cycle. And also a Wednesday. All right, that could be a play. We'll see. I'm going to put this into opening range as well, as it is closed on the outside as a breakout, so I know exactly what to look for on this pair. Euro USD. Multiple days breakouts, closing back on the inside of the opening range today, and a very nice looking consolidation down low. So we'll see tomorrow. I don't have an actual signal day, but this is a very large dump. And then the day is opened. Take a look at the template. Asia is the opening range for the day. They spiked the high, they spiked the low, they pulled back into the opening range in New York, and then have gone vertical back up to the outside of the opening range to close the day. So that's like peak formation high, peak formation low, pulls back into the range. You can see the little channel, and then it goes vertical back up. Coming off previous month low, this is another one of those ones that I think hit. I don't think it hit. I'm pretty sure I know it did. So let's take a look. There we go. I think this is the previous month's low right here. Yep, nice. Okay, we can annotate that. That is very close. I don't know if it's an inside day or not. I am just going to put this up into pump and dump, though. And I'm going to go to Euro Pound. Wow. Okay. We had an opening range. Close on the outside of the Friday's range on Monday. Pulled back into the range today. Day 1, 3-day cycle. Day 2, tomorrow's day 3. Large pumping day, dumping day, inside day. I wonder if it's Monday. Did it make a higher high? What am I doing? Go away. All right. Yes. So, okay, this made a higher high on Monday. There was a lower low on this Monday from last week, and then they spiked on Tuesday and made a higher high. They pulled back and were in consolidation for an entire week. Went vertical this week, made a higher high, and have pulled back. So is this a higher high, pause day, inside day, dumping day for a consolidation and maybe a dump and a pump for tomorrow? Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to do this. BOS. Just to give me that annotation of where the high and the low is. The low is all the way down here. So that builds a bit of a box for me. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, inside day. We'll see tomorrow. I like that, though. That looks nice. It looks like it's trading very clean. Joseph, you beat me to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I have. This is my watch list coming into tomorrow. Hopefully you all picked up on some of my explanations. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns, something you're confused about? Why did I mark off a level like that? What am I looking for on that pair from the annotations that I do have? What scenarios would I be searching for? Does anybody have any questions before I go? All right. Give it a couple more seconds. I know it takes a bit. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fantastic stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate all of your participation. It makes my time on these live streams a lot more enjoyable to have you all asking questions and participating. Let's see here. I'm way too slow. All right, so inside day, number one, it's either a pause day for a trend continuation, or it is a, this could be like pullback consolidation, and it goes vertical tomorrow. But anyways, you'll have a great rest of your day, rest of your morning, whatever time it is for you. I will be here again Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, and I also have day 3 of the 3-day cycle video coming this Saturday at either 7 or 8 a.m. Eastern time. I hope you all have a wonderful time. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.